Hello and welcome to the AFI Weekly here on the Under Centre podcast. Darragh here with you. Delighted to be joined by Fionn Malloy, waiting on Alex Sims, as always, to show up. I have to tell him it's a 7:15 show from now on.
Yeah, you're going to have to pretend like we changed the time, the start time from now on, yeah.
Yeah, just wait until the end of the season when it's over. Then I can say, that the show starts. But how are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Commiserations to you. You put up a good effort on the weekend, but very cool experience. Fortunately, wasn't there myself, but I believe everything went very smoothly on the day and a great event, and everyone involved had high praise for it. So I think that's really good, really positive overall for the day.
Yeah, a terrifically run day. Credit to the AFI for a fantastic day, putting both games on, and for the quality of the online stream. I know a few people were complaining about certain angles of the stream, seeing just sidelines and stuff. But listen, we learn from these and we move on, and we'll improve for next year and everything like that. But yeah, I think something that should be done now on the regular, from going forward, I should say, where we have both bowl games on the same day. I think it's a great thing to do, and it's something that will really get people interested, and as a venue itself, I thought Attwell was terrific. The Berry Park. First of all, the pitch was fantastic, marked brilliantly. Was a turf tank robot lined the pitch, which was brilliant. Although they had the emblem of AFI on the side of the pitch, which looked great. Then the referees then told the guys in charge of the robot that they had to continue the lines through the emblem because they weren't at the league rules specifically. So there was a big line going through the middle of AFI and turf tank on the side, which kind of, didn't ruin it, obviously, but it wasn't great. I believe we have Alex here. Hold on, let me just see. There he is.
Hey.
In clear 420 resolution.
He wasn't late. It's just the Wi-Fi and the dock was beaming it over at 1 mile an hour.
That's what it was. Apologies, gents.
No, you're okay. Look, we're looking back at Super Bowl Saturday, where we saw two comprehensive wins for the Craigavon Cowboys and UCD. We'll break down both games, and we have some special guests on as well to talk about it. Later on, we'll be talking to Jason Duddy and Arun to talk about the Heart Bowl. But joining us now from the victorious UCD Shamrock Bowl winning side is head coach Darragh Farrell, QB Arun Mooney, and running back, defensive end, and the main feature of Fionn's Nightmares, Brandon Attwell, on the show.
Hello.
Lads, I believe you are with us there now. How are we?
Hey, fellas.
Let's crack, lads. How's it going?
Hey, how are you on?
All good. Firstly, delighted to have you all on. Congratulations on a terrific win on Saturday, 36 points to 14 against the Dublin Rebels. The second Shamrock Bowl for UCD in 2 years. Darragh, I'll go to you first on this one. Game planning for this game, especially, like we said, the third installment of this rivalry between yourselves and the Rebels. Both games previously have been close. I know the first one, the score got away in the fourth quarter. But sort of in your most optimistic thoughts ahead of the game, did you think it would go this way, or specifically, did you think the first half would go this way on Saturday?
That's a good question. To be honest, I knew if we executed the way we did, that it would be effective. The last three bowls, the last 9 times we've played these guys, my defensive philosophy, my defensive mantra is, is take away what they do best. So what do they do best? And let's just take that away. And I've done that 9 times and I haven't been able to stop it, So I was like that, and that was stop the Johnsons, and I said to myself, I have a pain in my hole with this now. I really have, because it's just not working, you know. And credit to the two lads, you know, they're fabulous players. I just said, look, something has to change. We can't be hanging our hat on this all the time. So I went away and I thought about it, and this has kind of been hanging in the back of my mind since we played them the last game. And I was like, hey, what are we going to do? You know, and I said, look, what do we do well? And I said, our strength to this team, this whole defense has been the box for the last 2 years, 3 years, you know. So I said to myself, right, let's attack the protection. And that's what we did. And we put him on the ground 5 times, 5 official sacks, I think, or 4 or 5 sacks in the first half. Multiple hurries, multiple hits, multiple tackles for loss. So I was like, right. So the plan was to make them keep in 6 or 7 as much as possible. And when they started doing that, we knew they could only release 3. We'd have 5 back there. We could bracket coverage if we needed to. We could roll coverages. We would adjust the middle dropper so we closed the middle of the field. And that's how we were able to be as effective as we were. The defense, the DBs had a day. In credit to them, I don't know anyone who watched the game or who saw it. The DBs played absolutely lights out. I'd say we got a little bit of help from the rain. At the start too. There was a couple of balls there that hit the Rebels receivers in the hands early. For first downs and stuff like that, they would have normally caught on third and 6, 3rd and 7s that went through their hands. But look, I always say it's better to be lucky than good, especially on as a DB. And yeah, that was it. You know, I knew if we executed right and we stemmed the tide early, which we did, we would be successful against them. You know. And by stemming the tide, I would say that the fumble on the Rebels 4 or 5, I'm not sure of his number. Kieran O'Connell forced the fumble we recovered on the 2-yard line, I think it was. I think that was probably the turning point of the game. Really, it was when we kind of knew then, okay, we're onto something here. You know, it's working what we want to do. So yeah, so that was it.
How much did you sort of learn, especially in that second game of the regular season, despite it obviously being abandoned, but it's kind of similar on defense, especially from UCD, that it was kind of, well, more of an all-out pressure in that game, but you sort of did you find out a couple of things that maybe you could fine-tune if it was the case that you were going to meet again in the final?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it came back to us. It came back to us being able to generate pressure with as many guys or as little guys as possible, and to be able to disguise that pressure as well as much as we could. So it kind of started. It started with the run into the Trojans game. We started tinkering with little things and doing little bits, and we started getting success against our O line. So we knew, look, if we can get pressure and success against our starting guys, we're going to be able to get pressure and success against the Rebels. You know, the key to it was being able to disguise it as much as we could, and then have multiple guys dropping, multiple guys rushing. Like, you look at it, sometimes we had 2 defensive ends on the same side of the field, with 2 linebackers on the other side, you know. So we mixed it around as much as we could so they didn't get the same look pretty much any time, you know. So I think Greg came up to me after the game and he was like, Jesus, you guys ran so many different coverages, you know what I mean? And that's what you had to do, you know what I mean? Like, to do it. And it was a stressful 2 weeks to lead up to the bowl, just kind of hammering it down. The first week it didn't really work. I'll be straight. Like, we were like, this is not good. We're not getting to the zones. And then Monday of bowl week was another shite practice. Like, we didn't get what we needed, and the offense pretty much kicked their ass the whole day. And then Wednesday is like the light switch went. We just went lights out. I was like, Grant, we're set now. We know where we're going. The drop angles were right. You know, we were dropping too shallow at first, you know, because Ty has such a big arm. I was like, no, we need to drop at sharper angles to get to more depth on our drops and stuff. That's when that all started to click. You know, we knew we were on the right track, and when we recorded the training sessions, I was able to see, okay, we're moving in the right direction. So definitely picked up a lot of that from that first game, that we could see, like, listen, this is the game plan we need. I need to move away from the old adage of sending the house at them in basic rush and dropping everybody off, or sorry, not dropping everybody off, leaving everybody in man coverage and trying to stop the Johnsons. That's just, it just wasn't working for us. Like, they roasted us 3 scores on it. I was like, something has to change. So yeah, I went away, learned from that, as you do, as you do from a loss, and put that game plan together, which I think worked pretty well.
Yeah, Darragh, just I think you mentioned specifically the DBs as having a great day. I think every facet of your team had a great day, from the trenches to your receivers, your backs, and Arun and Brandon as well, individually. I also noticed there, watching your sidelines on the game, you just had so much buy-in from all the lads. You had your 2 backup quarterbacks there, giving the signals into the guys for play calls and whatnot, and just everyone was intently focused and just trying the best to help out the team in whatever way they could. I suppose it must be a dream really to work with a team like that. Like, you really seem to have ultimate buy-in from every member of the roster there.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, UCD, we're quite unique, and I mean, I've played on lots of different teams that weren't like this. UCD is really unique in that there's no egos. There's just no egos. There's no superstars. Like, Brandon.
Once you got rid of Sean, obviously.
Oh well, obviously, once you got rid of him, but Brandon played at a higher level than anyone in this country did. And if I tell Brandon, or not even tell him, I never tell anyone to do anything. I always ask the lads what to do, and I'd ask Brandon to do it, and he just do it. There's buy-in from everybody, and it's just part of the culture that we have. And I think people probably get sick of us talking about this culture that we harp on at every podcast that we're on, but it's all about culture. Culture is the first and utmost thing. It's what we put above everything. You know what I mean? Like, there's no egos, there's no assholes. Just come down, be a good teammate, be coachable, have a bit of crack, and we'll make you better. And like, when you see the likes of Tom Brady wanting to be coached when he was playing, and he's asking for tips, and Cristiano Ronaldo wants to be coached, but if lads find they're getting like that one little millimeter better, or one little millimeter, or one little piece better every single week, they'll just keep coming back. They'll keep coming back. And like, we had our 5th string O-line. We'd have guys patched together, and we'd be putting the 5th string, 6th string O-line in, and we'd still get a scrimmage. We'd get 11 on 11, and we'd get quality reps for everybody. So lads, they mightn't be playing in the games, they're still getting quality reps. They're still getting better. They're still getting that individual coaching time when they're in. So while they mightn't play a little bit this year, they know they're the feeder, they're the backfill for the guys that retire next year. So it's all just a conveyor belt of all these lads having to come through, and that's where the buy-in comes from. Like, and we always say that to lads: listen, it's not great now. You might be getting in now. I know you're frustrated, but look, you're 18, you're 19, you're 20. You've your whole career ahead of you. Just stay with it. Keep coming down. Keep getting better. And like, I tell lads, I never started for my first 2 years. And then I went on to do. I played for a year, 14 years, I think, after that. So just take a bit, get better and better, grow and grow little by little, and then you get that buy-in. And we've got good leaders. We've got really good leaders there. You've got likes of Arun, Larry Doyle, Paddy Sweeney, those lads that set a really high bar. Is it a really high bar for everybody to work to? And like, we love having the crack, and we pull the piss out of each other constantly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need a thick skin. You absolutely need a thick skin to be involved. But it's always good crack, and it's always good fun. And like, lads want to come back if they're having the crack. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want to go out with your mates. You want to go to training to see your mates. And that's what. And like, football is just a byproduct. Football is just, I'm going out with the lads. I'm going out to see my mates, but I'm also going to display a bit of football as well. So that's kind of what we try and aim for as well. And like, there's only one big arsehole on the team, and that's me. But I try to limit that as much as I can. But sometimes it's you got to be the head coach, and you got to call people out, and you got to do it. But other than that, it's just like, just come down, be coachable, leave your ego at the door, and we'll make you into whatever you want to be, what you're prepared to do.
Yeah, no, that sounds fantastic. I do have one bone to pick with you. So after Tom ran that, whatever it was, 80, 86, 80 odd yards touchdown run, you decided to just run him again for the 2-point conversion. Was there ever an idea of maybe changing to somebody so I can just run the length of the field?
Listen. I said this. I was
the rest of the game off. Just speaking for myself, I didn't need the rest of the game off after that. But obviously, Tom's different.
Full disclosure, I didn't know that at the time. I was too busy celebrating. But no, and I said, I was on the other podcast with Kelly and Ian there last or Monday or Sunday, I think it was, and I said I'm trying to watch the ball. I have it here actually on the other screen. I'm trying to watch the ball without my coaching cap on. I want to watch it as a fan and enjoy it. But that's the first thing I saw when I watched it. I was like, why is he running the 2-point? Like put somebody else in, you know what I mean, to do it. The poor man he could barely stand up when he got the ball. So yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. But I put that into the coaches group. I put that into the coaches group straight away. I was like, that's something that we definitely need to keep an eye on things when the big man runs for 90 yards or 80 yards, whatever it was. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Pat Maloney would have hopped in for you, Darragh. He was eager.
Yeah, he probably would have. Yeah.
He was looking for the pitch.
Yeah.
He was looking for the pitch.
Yeah. Aaron, while we're on the subject of the offensive side of the ball, obviously Darragh spoke about finding a wrinkle and a new facet for the ball game in terms of stopping the Rebels' offense. Defensively, you guys obviously got cut short in the last game, but in the first game it was pretty much a shootout. Was it a case of just executing the game plan, or did you guys try and bring anything new to the game for the bowl, or just kind of execute what's been working really well for you guys all season?
Just executing what's been working really well for us all season, to be honest with you. And we repped everything over and over again in practice. It was literally the same stuff that we've been doing all season. The first game round, we figured out pretty quick, like, right, these are the holes in the defense. We can attack these with certain type of concepts and that. And we knew what we had. And the second game obviously got cut short, but we started to figure that out after a bit of a slow start, I would say. But in the ball, everything just seemed to click, execution-wise. I think the first drive I had on, they almost caught me with a big country. He was playing robber in the safety, and he came down on the slant and almost got that. But that was the only one I kind of felt like, okay, that kind of woke me up a little bit and was like, right, let's go back to executing back to basics, and let's just executing the ball, and everything else was sort of self out. Like.
So, Darragh, you weren't up grinding on the college football 25 game trying to find some new trick plays or anything hidden in them game books, in them playbooks?
Funny story.
Exclusive.
Funny story. I was looking for something. I was looking for something to add to it, and I openly say this is no secret. I said it to the lads. Like, I was scrolling on Twitter, and I saw this like pressure thread that Georgia run, and I was like, "That's it." I was like, took it down, sent it into the lads. Like, this is what we're running. Drew it up how we want to do it, and I was like, "This is exactly what we're doing," and that was it. So I mean, if it's good enough for Georgia, it's good enough for UCD. You know what I mean? But that's as honest, like, full disclosure. Nick Saban says it best. He says anything he does, he learned from someone else. He just puts his own twist on it. And that's literally, and no bullshit like that. That's exactly what happened. Like, so work to retreat.
Brandon, for yourself then, obviously a fantastic performance on defense for you with 2 sacks on tie and multiple pressures, given that O-line as many nightmares as you gave Fionn a couple of weeks ago. But it's been a sort of great season for you personally in terms of you've been doing a lot more, especially on offense with with them finally getting rid of Sean and realizing your potential at the running back position as well. But for yourself personally, how have you felt the season has gone?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, Darragh alluded to the fact earlier, I've played a lot of football in my life, but since finding UCD the past couple of years have been, rejuvenating in terms of my love for the game. Like, you talk about, to make you sick of it, the culture again, but it honestly is. It's so fun just to go out with the guys, and you have to give all the credit to Darragh and Mark Lawless. Like, they facilitate a culture where we as players can just show up and play, and that's a ton of fun, and you get to do a lot of different stuff. Like, I mean, I think I've played everywhere except defensive tackle in Darragh's defense, and that's not any credit to my ability, but it's to the fact that he's a mad scientist defensively, scheming, where are we going to attack? He's moving guys around. And it's the same with Mark on offense. He's putting running backs in the backfield, but you're running swing screens, or you're getting the opportunity to throw the ball. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. A really well coached team, a really great group of guys, and then to win the ball is a really great feeling. So yeah, it's been a great year.
Darragh, how are you? I'm wondering, are you upset that you didn't get you didn't get to play out that game against Farrell, so you missed an opportunity at getting a perfect season, or are you kind of a bit happy because now you still have something to drive for? You got something to keep the fire in the belly, so you want to go for a perfect season next year, or does that play in at all, or is that just something the media,
Alex,
like us talking heads, think about?
It doesn't. Like, it genuinely doesn't. The only game that matters is the last one. The last game of the season.
Fair.
That's the only one that matters. And if it ever happens, I had a perfect season with the Rebels back in 2006, I think it was. And it was great, but you don't talk about the perfect season, you talk about winning the Shamrock Bowl. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's great and it's fine and it's nice, but getting the win at the end of it is what's important. And something I say to the lads is the only game that matters is the next one. It really does. And yeah, look, there was a bit of a revenge arc, I'll be honest, with the lads with that game and not getting to finish it. And there wasn't really a whole lot of talking about it or them or anything like that. It was what we were going to do, ever since that. So it definitely upset us a bit. Yeah, like it would, like we probably missed out on a couple of records and other things as well with regards to points scored and other bits and bobs. But I mean, look, it is what it is. It was an injury. It had to be done. We don't hold any bad blood or grudge against it. But like, it is what it is. The main thing is, look, we won the important one, and look, we'll take that one. We'll take that one all day.
Arun, for yourself now, especially this season with having the likes of, Joe Carroll and Tyg O'Connor there sort of coming in for their rookie seasons. How do you feel the future sort of, obviously not saying anything's going to happen with yourself until you surprisingly say you're coming back to the Rhinos now next season, but but in terms of like the future after Arun Mooney is done with UCD with the likes of Joe and Tyg, how do you see them progressing now over the next few years?
I mean, they progressed so much even over just this year. Like, working with Eddie and myself, two lads have been tremendous. They've been open to all the coaching, and they've taken it, and in their stride, and you can see it on the field. Whenever they get on the field, they're very productive. Joe has made some lovely highlights. He's had a phenomenal rookie season altogether. Very proud of him. And Tyg as well has come on leaps and bounds in terms of his mechanics. He's worked really hard on that. And when he came into the game, whenever we were, during the season, he showed out as well. So those two guys, the future is very bright with them, and I hope they continue to play and continue to grow and to learn. For myself, I haven't looked that far ahead. I'm just looking forward to the next season now, and that's the way I look at football. Like, if that one's done now, and on to the next one.
Yeah. Brandon, there.
Just a quick one, Darragh, there.
Yeah.
With the Rhinos fumbling, Aaron. This is an all-time QB fumbling podcast here. Ty Henry went to a Loud Mavericks flag football training session back in, during COVID. I think probably late 2020, maybe early 2021. we were training on the beach because it was hard to get public spaces booked, and I think he came down, took a look, saw our sideline be washed away by the tide, and says, "Nah, it's got to be something out here better than this." So could have been us, Darragh, but instead it's the Rebels and the UCD of the dominant teams.
Let's look at these lads just walk in off the road again. You never know, Alex. Someone could fall in love with that lovely accent, and they could be, another D1 guy could be walking in there. You never know. Like just.
I'm growing the hair out. I'm not afraid.
I know. I tell you. You never know.
I'll take it anyway.
I got one last question, Brandon. On the defensive side of the ball, you've got a couple of guys. I don't know super familiar, but I'm aware like Alex Kuzmarek would have come over this season. How has the defense matured from last season? Obviously, the ball defeat up to now having the ball win, and how do you see it progressing now into the next couple of seasons? A lot of talent. That's something that stands out at UCD. Darragh's already spoke about generating that pipeline, keeping those guys there. But obviously, when top talent also comes in, it's a huge boost, I presume, for the defense as well.
Yeah, I think the depth has been a big change this year. Like depth it creates more competition. Competition creates, better players. You don't want to lose reps in the game. But I mean, no one's getting upset with each other. It's just, friendly competition. And I think we had a really solid defense last year. We have, the 2 years previously I've been with UCD, but it was just at a different level this year. Guys really pushing each other. The likes of Stephen Olanke coming on in his second year was just unbelievable, like going to be a terror in this league for probably the next decade. Brian Broderick, finally healthy this year, probably one of the, if not the best defensive player in the league. Larry Doyle kind of stepping in fully to the middle linebacker role and moving away from playing a bit of offensive line and just focusing on defense was huge. Like his leadership on the field was incredible this year. So yeah, I think the future is really bright as well. And Darragh mentioned we get, a whole new rookie class will come in the fall. Hopefully some of those guys will stick and fall in love with DB, in Darragh's case, he's going to try and steal them all. But, we'll build the depth and continue to get guys on the field and helping us out for the future.
Yeah. And one more question, sorry, Darragh, for yourself before we wrap up. A big thing that's not mentioned enough around the league is, the strength of, UCD. Well, it's mentioned a lot this year, but it's not really seen around the league. It's the strength of UCD's O-line and D-line, especially. And how, obviously, everyone knows how important the trenches are, but, how much have you put down to, the I think you say that the likes of so many two-way players with the likes of Paddy who can play both sides, Pat Maloney can play both sides if he needs to, how important has it been to sort of give guys an idea of both sides of the line so that even if they're playing O-line, they can see what's coming on the D-line or kind of vice versa of how they can combat it?
Yeah, good question. And funny you should mention the two lads that they only played offense. They didn't play D-line on the weekend. So like that will tell you the strength of the offensive line players. I don't know, how many have we, Aaron? 20? Have we 20 linemen? 16, 18 linemen?
I think it's 16.
Yeah, 16. Like short answer there, like they've no choice, right? So if you come to UCD and you are a big man, you have no choice but to play both. So you have to come and play both. You have to learn both. You have to learn O-line as much as you have to learn D-line. Because as I touched on there earlier, when I say our fifth string D-line, irregardless of how many linemen we have our training, we will always have an offensive line to go against, and we can fill in then around that, whether that's first string players or whether that's fifth string. There's always lads there to fill in on the O-line, so the running backs, Aaron will get the protection he needs, and we'll work away and work around from that. The way we do it is we train everybody up. So you have to learn offensive line, you have to learn defensive line. The group works together, so they're always together. And again, as you touched on there, you can see when you're going up against when you're learning O-line, you're seeing what a D lineman does. When you're playing D line, you'll see what an offensive line does. So you'll see a particular blocking scheme. You'll notice a slide right, you'll notice a slide left, you know, if it's a half slide, if it's a full slide, if it's big on big, whatever that is. As a D line, then you get to see that and learn from that. You're like, okay, I'm getting this type of block. I should react like how I've been coached to do this. I'm getting a double team here. I need to put my foot in the ground. I need to follow. You know, I need to. So everything you learn complements the other. And as a result of that, it's no question that, or it's no secret, you know, how many Wolfhounds D linemen that we have. Kieran O'Connell, chunky boys can play cornerback too. That's true, Kieran. But no, it's no secret that you know how many Wolfhounds players we've developed on the under-20s and the senior team. I'm not sure. I think we've 8 or 9 or 10 there as well. On both teams there too. So, you know, it works. We've been saying this we've been harping this for years. We've been doing this now for 2 or 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure how long, and longer, probably 5 or 6 years actually, as long as I'm here. And you can see the results of it, you know, and it's not going to change. You know, it's not going to change. And some guys gravitate to one or the other. You know, Callum Henry is a stud defensive end. He just plays defensive end. You know, we have Alex Said, who started as a D tackle, but now has just really come on this year as a guard. We're like, Jesus, like, where'd this guy come out of? You know what I mean? Like, and one suits the other, and other suits. So, you know, but Alex still plays his guard reps. He still plays his D tackle reps. You know, so it's, and again, this comes back to what we talked about earlier, and Alex mentioned on that it keeps everybody happy. How do you keep, you know, 16 big men happy? Because they all get reps. They all get to play. Everybody rotates through, you know, so you'll always get a rep, you'll always get into the game, you'll always get to make an impact, you know. And it doesn't matter if you're John McDonald or if you're Pat Maloney, the D1 guy, or you're Craig Carville, who's the angry elf. You know, it just, you know, everybody gets in, everybody gets to work, and the lads just come down, they're coachable, they're good lads, and that's how we work it. And again, I'll offer this again to anyone that wants to come down to watch training, to see how we do it. You're more than welcome to see how we work. Happy to help bring anyone down that wants to see. Feel free to reach out to the socials, UCD socials, reach out to myself. Happy to get it down. I know a couple of clubs have reached out to Arun to come down and do some QB work. I know, Darragh, we spoke about the Rhinos wanting to come down potentially as well to look at how we do things. We're an open book, we'll help anybody. As long as we're not playing you next week. You know what I mean? That's it. But like, we're happy to help anyone that wants to and has who would like to come down and work with us. By all means, let us know.
Yeah. Well, look, listen, Darragh, Arun, Brandon, it's been fantastic having you on chatting. Once again, congratulations on a fantastic win. Enjoy the well-earned couple of weeks off for sure. Make sure you do take a couple of weeks off. And look, we can't wait to see UCD football again. Can't believe we're going to say in March next year. March, Jesus Christ.
We're back in September, unfortunately.
Well, look, training back in September, yeah. But look, listen, we're looking forward to it again as always, and be sure we have you on for a chat at some stage before next season starts for sure. But again, definitely. Congratulations, and enjoy the break, boys.
Cheers.
Thanks very much, guys.
Good work. See you later on.
Bye.
And that was Brandon Attwell, Darragh Farrell, and Arun Mooney from UCD. Thank you very much to the guys for taking the time to chat to us. Again, congratulations on their comprehensive win against the Dublin Rebels by 36 points to 14 in the Shamrock Bowl 36 last week in Athlone. But it wasn't the only game on Saturday. Of course, there was another game, I think. Or was there? No, was there only one game?
Yeah.
No,
sounds like you might have got a
2.
concussion, Darragh. Have you got checked?
Maybe self-inflicted after. But no, listen, it was that earlier on in the day. It was the Heart Bowl. And whiskey. Don't forget the whiskey.
Yeah.
The Heart Bowl 1, as it's now called, took place between the Craigavon Cowboys and the West Dublin Rhinos. Craigavon Cowboys coming out on top by 35 points to 0. We're delighted to be joined by 2 members of the winning side, club president Jason Duddy and star wide receiver Arun Sunshine O'Kane. Lads, how are we?
Well, how are we?
A message came in straight away as soon as you came up on air. So obviously you've told a few people we're on. told a few people you are on the show today, which is fair enough. First of all, congratulations on a fantastic win at the weekend, and back up to the Premier Division after a 1-year hiatus.
Thanks,
Go on.
No,
Sorry, I should really
no,
say at the start. I have to tell you at the start. I'm going to go to one of you to say congratulations first next time. I promise. But look, listen, Jason, I'll start with you first of all at this one. You know, a really sort of intriguing game for anyone that sort of didn't see the game in terms of only saw the result. You know, a very close one right up until the third quarter. I think it was only 15-0 at the end of the third quarter, only 8-0 at half time. It was a tight game for such a long periods. And, you know, we ran a few polls and stuff like that and got a few people's opinions before the game and thought it was going to be quite a comfortable win for you guys on Saturday. The first half especially, you could say, certainly wasn't that.
Yeah, no. One of the big things from motivation we had this year, we wanted to get back up just straight away. My thing for the bowl game was, and it's no offense to the Rhinos, just on that, my goal was people are saying the Rhinos is the best defense in the league, which, to be fair, is are way up there. You really are. But we're better. Let's go show we're better. Let's go do a shutout. Let's go like this. And if it went into 0-0 at halftime, I think the third quarter might have been a wee bit more difficult. But thankfully we got on the score sheet just before the end of the half. And I think from there we found our footing. But for the first half in total, it was neck and neck. Like, their defense was swarming Peter. If it wasn't for Andy in the backfield, I think, you know, he would have got hit a couple of times. But all year our O-line's been amazing and it's given him time to throw the sunshine. And in the end, it did come to fruition at the end.
Yeah, and Arun, for yourself as well, 2 touchdowns on Saturday, sort of wrapping up a fantastic year individually for yourself. How, like, it's probably a silly question now in hindsight after I've just listed all that, but how have you felt the season's gone for you?
Yeah, it's gone all right.
Only all right. I'm sorry, only all right.
Sort of mid. I felt like I could do a bit better. No, look, in all honesty, it's been incredible. The year's been great, but I mean, take nothing away from the guys around me. I'm going to be completely honest with you. There's nothing that I could have done if we didn't have like such a solid O-line and defense all year. I mean, you even saw in the bowl game, as Duddy was saying, you know, we got 1 score in the first half. An offense that's been prolific like all year. I was disappointed with my first half performance in that game for sure. But the defense kept us in it, kept us alive the whole time. And yeah, I mean, look, big games means it's, you know, everybody's got to step up and do it. But overall, as a whole, I think this season, I don't know, it felt different. It felt different, obviously, being back in Div 1. I've never played Div 1 football before. So, you know, it was a different experience for sure. A little bit of grittiness. But when you've got Peter Loughlin in front of the football, it's kind of, it's hard not to put up a couple numbers, you know, here and there.
Jason, what obviously with Peter Loughlin at QB now and Odhran having the season he's had, what are the expectations now coming back into the Premier? Obviously would have been a huge goal for you guys, as you've already said. Definitely, I would imagine a lot of confidence from the results that came this season. Certainly, as the guys have already said, offensively, a pretty spectacular season. And that obviously you can't take away from the defense either. It's obviously maybe bit easy to get overlooked, I think, when the score is already so high. But look, the defense performed really well as well. So what are the expectations? It's super early, I know, but the expectations now going in for next season.
Overall, next year, as I said it to the end of the group chats, we don't want to go 0 next year again. Like last year, it was hard to take. We did have games where we had 17 men, 19 men down to Dublin, and this year, there's been a lot of forfeits here and there. We finished every game last year. We weren't quitting. Like Mavericks, they would have 17 players. They weren't going to quit. They'll never quit. I think it's just the mentality we have. Next year, I won't lie. There's 1 or 2 teams that we're looking at. We're like, you know what? With Peter, with Sunshine, with our defense, if we have everyone back and new players coming in, we can make a go of it. We can win 1 or 2 games. And the goal is to stay up. we're not gonna say now we're gonna go win the Shamrock Bowl next year. The goal is to stay up, develop, and push on in a couple of years' time. We've got a plan in place.
And then in
looking
terms just
on
follow up,
Sunshine's face there says he is planning to win the Shamrock Bowl next year.
I mean, like, if Duddy's not going to say it, then I'll not say it. But listen, we've got to.
As president, other things going on. I'm not going to say it for now.
Fair.
How is the squad gone this year? Is there many rookies that are excited to get a taste of Prem football, and how do you feel they got to develop as the season went on?
The squad's been pretty healthy this year. I think we did a really good job in recruiting, and we went around. We got a lot of people back as well this year. So the likes of Joe, who was meant to be playing, but he got an injury and took over. I'm defensive coordinator, but with Joe being injured, he's by default basically took over and did a lot for defense this year. We've got a good D-line rookie class. There's a few people. An offensive lineman, Matthew Stubbs. He's came in this year. He's like a wrestler. So he loved being on O-line. Like his thing was just, I want to get a hold of someone and just pin them to the ground. I think you can see in general, everyone's just more eager. And even now we're sitting looking at off-season plans to prepare for the SBC because we got a culture shock last year. We're no illusion about it. SBC is a different quality, as you know yourself. And we just want to be better this time.
Yeah, that offensive line this year did an incredible job protecting Peter, and like he doesn't need long to be protected, but they did a great job. Watching the Rhinos defense, as you said, Jason, they were flying. They were absolutely flying at Peter on Sunday, and still I don't know, was there an actual proper sack or was it just a hit pressure on a couple of near sacks? But they've done a fantastic job. Speak a bit about that unit if you don't mind.
Yeah. So going from our stats recorded, I don't think Peter's had a sack this year. Owen, I think, maybe had 2. But I blame that on just Owen not, knowing when to get rid of the ball. Sorry, Arun, but just throwing under the bus there, Mr. MVP.
Throw him under the bus all you want. He refused to answer his phone to come on the show tonight. So yeah, do whatever you need to.
Don't tell Sunshine that. Don't tell
Just a little one.
Yeah.
Hey, we had 6 spaces here. Look, so it's all right.
And compared to last year, improved massively. Yes, you can say it's Division 1 and this and that, but the Rhinos and yourselves, Alex, like use your defensive line, your defense in total, like these are just absolute animals. And in the SBC, it's going to be different, 100%. But we back ourselves. We've had that experience last year. We know what we need. We have. I was listening there to the UCD ones. We have offense and defensive line. This is the first year since 3-4 years that we've actually had a lot of rotation offensively and defensively in the line. We have actually time. We can, that whole game, the bowl game, we had 3 D linemen just rotating for one spot, and we had other people rotating for the other ones. And it's just so nice to have like a refreshing thing this year, to have an actual breath instead of being on the field to offense and defense all game every day.
Yeah, that's a massive thing. Sometimes even the offensive line don't even need to actually do anything. I remember against G up in Tullyleash there when we were playing. Hadn't ran a blitz all day. There wasn't a blitz called, but I said, you know what, I'm going to blitz here because there's no way the line are expecting me to blitz. And I blitzed, and I got to Peter, and the ball was gone. And it was, I think it was a 15-20 yard gain to Sunshine there. And just sort of said, well, not doing that again. Might as well just drop into coverage. He's got some quick release time on that ball.
Yeah, and make no mistake about it. Like in our defensive chats, I'm saying people are talking about Sunshine and Peter, and rightly so. Peter is amazing. Sunshine's amazing. Owen, people who don't get enough credit. David Radford, Matty Walsh, like everyone on the offense are amazing and make Sunshine better, make Peter better. So if Peter's there next year, Sunshine's there next year, of course we're going to feel confident. We're not going to be able to say, oh, we're going to win this, we're going to win that. But quietly, we've got a plan.
Yeah.
Keep it on there.
Are you just trying to stop and say if Sunshine is there next year? It's leaving a little room for doubt. Is that what it is?
I mean, I don't know about all that. No, listen.
I heard you wanted to come down to Dublin for a while anyway.
Oh yeah, let me just make that wee commute real quick. Just learn
Yeah,
Dublin's a handy one, isn't it?
we can set up a carpool for you. Don't worry, it's fine.
Just
Contract
set up a tent.
Contract signed.
That's true. Nobody else I'd rather play for. Let me tell you that much for free anyway. The guys around here, the culture, the way that we've built up this team. I mean, even last year, you look at the way we handled after last year. I mean, going 0-8 and coming right back down, having, I think, maybe was it 3 offensive scores, 2-3 offensive scores. You know, being a wideout in that offense last year, the way we were playing was, I mean, it was no fun for anybody involved. But you know, when you stick through it and you go through hardship and you go through that with people beside you, there's no doubt you come out the other side a better team and a better unit. And I think that's mainly what's happened this year as well. I mean, granted, yes, you've got Peter back and we've got everybody else, but take nothing away from the guys who have stayed from last year. When we've come down and said, okay, do you know what? Let's grab this. We know what it's about now. We've been up. We've had a taste. We need to get back there. We know that we can get to that level once we've got these guys around. Let's go and grab it. And I think that's kind of what's come to pass here now. And I think we're going to go up now next year with a lot more talent, obviously, with recruiting, but a lot better understanding of who we are as a team, the kind of more of a team identity, especially around the offense and the defense, separately as well as a unit. And just, it's going to be such a better experience, I think, this time around. Just having been through that, there's no doubt it makes you a closer team.
Yeah, that sort of leadership's very important. I think when you go down, you need to really rally the troops and be like, we need to be ready for this again. And you can definitely feel a bit of a lull coming down into that Division 1. I know we suffered the same back in 2018, going 0-8 in the SBC, and we came down and had a poor enough season in Division 1 because it's hard to get those guys kind of bought in. But you guys were clearly ready. You didn't take anything for granted. I think first game of the season was it against the Vipers you were. I think you put up 40 odd points. So you just, I guess you just had those leaders in there sort of reaffirming that, look, we can't be expecting to go down here and push anyone over. We've got to be ready to go at full steam from game 1 right to the end.
Yeah, I think it kind of, especially against yourselves, we knew the Mavericks were not going to be an easy team. We've played this before. We know what you're like. We know we've played the Rhinos before. Like Crusaders with Attwell this year. We didn't know what Well was going to show up, what way the Crusaders were going to play. Eagles, we've had tough games with them, so nothing's for granted. You have to go up and everything. You have to earn every single point, which we have this year. I think from me personally, as being the president and just having a plan, I couldn't do it without everyone else in the team, the board, everything around the club. It all's working in one harmony. We're all working together, and we're just trying to push things on for the better of the club, especially for the club's 40th next year.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing as well. And Jason, I wonder, with the relegation the previous year and having to sort of build it up again, and there's always that sort of worry, I guess you could say, when you go through a bad year, and like you said, with the fact that you had the 16, 17 players coming down to Dublin and having to face a team like the Rebels and stuff like that, I guess it's your job, I guess, as defensive coordinator and probably as president as well, would have had to have been to say to these lads that were probably a little demoralized, saying, "It's only a blip, lads. We have to just get through this. We might end up going down into D1. It's going to probably be the best thing for the club in the long term. It will give us the opportunity to build. It will give us the opportunity to, get the club back to where we feel it should be in terms of, playing numbers and quality as well."
Yeah. Then last year when we got relegated, I think Scott was still president. So he was talking about leaving anyway and going still on the board. But from then I was like, you know what, this is something I bring something to. I haven't done it before, but it's something I could bring something to. But if I'm going to do it, I want people around me who are actually going to work. Because in the past, it's all been maybe 2 or 3 people, namely the Buchanans and 2 others, who would do everything for it. This year, I have my partner, Treasure, who she has Bees, as Sunshine will tell you. Everything's just a run tight ship, and it's a lot better this year. Overall, on the pitch, off the pitch, financially, socially, like everyone's having so much fun together. We can't wait to get back.
How annoyed were you though, as club president? Club president myself, I know it definitely annoyed you at Owen Hughes' ripped jersey. One couldn't even get a full year out of them.
Yeah,
it's just
there's been the jerseys, while they're nice and I like them, there's been people were clamoring for change, but we got a foot in the colours and it passed. That's all great. Uniforms are. I can't swear on this, so I'm not going to. But
No, you can't. Go ahead.
Uniforms are a bitch. Uniforms are and yeah, it gets ripped and it comes and people go, oh, what new uniforms? Some of them are sizing's a bit tight on them, so we might have to buy more next year. But yeah, Owen can't keep it for one season. That's my Sunshine.
He needs to get the ball out quicker. If he can get the ball out quicker, he might have a bit more luck.
Well, look, I blame those lads at Green Zone and the damn sexy bowl. Ever since they did that, every team has wanted a new set of jerseys. So you can just send the bill to Chris McGee and have him sort out a new jersey for Owen next year. But look, lads, we're going to wrap up in a few minutes here. In terms of what you think, because especially Jason and Sunshine, you're great to answer this question, I believe, because you played SBC, you've seen what it's like in SBC, you played obviously Division 1 this year. In terms of, the leap that it takes to go from Division 1 to SBC, and probably not just to play, but to, sustain yourself in SBC for multiple years, what sort of either recruitment or what sort of coaching or what sort of plan does it take in your eyes or to sort of survive an SBC for more than the season or for a couple of seasons?
Yeah, I mean, the difference in quality whenever you think about it, if you look at that 0-8 Cowboys team from last season, the type of year that we had and going down and everything else, and you compare it to the Rebels and the UCDs and the Panthers of the world and everything else, you understand the gap in quality in terms of organization and coaching and stuff. Whenever you watch the Shamrock Bowl, especially with us coming in, it's UCD. Even we were sat behind the UCD sideline, I know me and a couple of the guys after the game, and we're just blown away by the organization of what they have. The two QBs, the two backup QBs, giving signals into their offense for play calls, everything else, like the way it run, like a tightly run ship was, it's just great to watch and it's great to see. But that's sort of the level that you need to be at to not only like stay up there in the SBC with that different level, like a different quality of play, but to even challenge for something like a Shamrock Bowl, that's a given. You need that quality leadership, but also organization. And I think us coming back up with that new level of organization, with that, new level of quality that we've got, an injection of guys coming back in and some new guys are coming through. Obviously, we're going to recruit some more. Who knows who we're going to lose, who we're going to gain over the off season? No one really knows. But even as I can speak like from a personal standpoint, the work that Duddy's done, and even shout out Joe Buchanan and Greg Loughran and all the coaching staff, Manny Bell, all the guys who have come together and really put the organization on just a different level from where we were the last couple of seasons. Obviously, after COVID, you lose a whole pile of momentum, and to come back up now with a far better sort of environment, a far better culture, and a far better, I keep saying organization, but that's almost what it is you have to be that quality, and it has to come from before the team even steps on the field. And I think that we've got that now, we've got that secured, and these guys have done a fantastic job with the club, that we're going to go up now. And I mean, who knows what can happen. I love our chances next year, I really do. I'll be the first to say it. I love it. But yeah, no, it should be fun. I'm very, very excited.
Yes. So just to echo what Sunshine says, like all over like the board, we're having a youth team this year. We're 2 flag teams this year. we're basically restarting. We know that down the line there isn't going to be Peter forever. There isn't going to be myself forever. There isn't going to be Joe. Like, we need new people in, so the youth team is going to be a big gain on that. Scott is the development officer at the club, so he's going to take over the youth with Manny. Joe is obviously the flag coordinator, and he's running the flag teams. With 2 flag teams thankfully this year. Hopefully this isn't the last bit of silverware we have this year. With youth, I think it's more about just getting there, getting started. Yes, you want to win, but we want to get the fundamentals down, get people in, get people enjoying it. And I'm looking more towards the future on how to stay in this Cowboys club for the next how many years I'm here.
Before we let you go then, Jason, first of all, what has been, either personally or as a team, what has been like your favorite sort of play from the Cowboys this year?
Me personally, it was any defensive play where we have stops, like 4th down stops, like the hard nitty-gritty tackles. My thing about defense is we swarm to the ball. There's photos from on Sunday where we have maybe the Rhinos were the same. We have like maybe 4 or 5 people around one person. Like, we're going to stop them. Me as a defensive lineman, first-year linebacker, me, any defensive play, I just love. There was one where Joe Buchanan, give him credit. We're doing scout reports this year, all year, going through the tape, a quick cut, this and that. We found tendencies, and we knew that, Ethan likes to roll out and pitch off to the running back. Obviously, things change this game because you prep for the game as we did. But there was one play where Patrick Summers came over and punched the ball out, forced a fumble, and Gavin recovered it. That was Joe's favourite one of the day, and it was mine as well. It was just the prep was put in. Offensively, everyone's going to say maybe the first run by Andy at the Vipers. I know Joe's mentioned that on other podcasts, this and that. Mine is Owen. Any Owen play from the Crusaders, because yes, Peter's amazing, but Owen is going to take a step in his footsteps, and Peter is going to help Owen develop. And it was just nice seeing him getting the confidence boost from that, because Owen is going to be, in my opinion anyway, I can't speak for the head coaches and all this, I think Owen's going to be the next big QB for the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm. And Arun, then, your favorite touchdown of this year, because you scored about 72, I think my last count was.
I can't decide. There's so many. No, I'm kidding. That's it's such a. In fairness, it is a tough one. I think back to kind of so many moments. I want to say probably the kickoff return touchdown, the first play of the game, in that Eagles playoff game, was maybe my first. The first obviously time I've ever played playoff football. But that might go down as my favorite, just because of the way it was, the environment leading up to the game, the way it's like, this is a different ball game. The regular season, you can do what you want. You can have your 1,000 yards. You can have however many catches you want, but this is where it counts. It's like, this is playoff football. Like, are you ready for it? And coming into that game, because you hear these different things. You hear like, you hear from people in the SBC that, Div 1's not all that. And yeah, you can have all these stats, but it's only Div 1. It doesn't really count. Or like, he's just a product of Peter Loughran, and it's great. And while Peter Loughran is the best QB that I've ever played with, probably bar none, no offense to the other guys, but that's my dog. But to come into that game and on the first play of the game, just make a statement like, okay, like, this is playoff football, but I'm here, and this is not like, it's not a case where, Peter's just launching an 80-yard bomb and I'm just getting on the end of it, but it's all arm talent. It's like, yeah, this is me. Like, I play ball. This is me, and I'm here. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, David McMichael thinks that your pick 6 against the Mavs was better.
I wish he got the game right, because it was a pick 6 against the Crusaders, but we'll say nothing. Don't worry, Alex. We'll save your blushes this time. But who knows? Somewhere down the line, maybe. Whenever you come up and join us, maybe at some stage.
Please, God, yeah.
Look, Jay, Arun, it's been fantastic speaking to you again. Congratulations. You proved it all year that you are the best team in Division 1 and truly deserve to go up. And you proved it again on Saturday. Wish you all the best up in Premier Division. Hopefully, either myself or Alex, hopefully more myself, will see is there the year after next. For sure.
Yeah, keep
Look forward to it.
that heart ball safe. You know, we'll be fighting for it next year.
Greg has it.
But look, yeah, listen, we appreciate you taking the time to speak to us as well today. And look, listen, best of luck with next season. Hopefully you enjoy the time off, and I hope you take some time off. I know, Jason, you're not getting any time off with the new babby here now as well. So you're pretty much on full time work now outside of this.
Yeah, it's 1 month old. I think Alex is near there again. So I just want to say thank you to yourselves for the all year, all the stats, all the posts, everything, all the socials. I'm not gonna keep beating about this, but it's nice someone else is doing it. Someone else is putting it up. We're trying to better our socials, the Cowboys with Joe and Sean Kerr with his stats every game. But thank you to yourselves as well for giving us a platform to put our voices out.
Yeah, 100%, guys. 100%.
Yeah, very welcome. Very welcome. It's very easy when you get send such great stats to us every week. Applaud to your stats guy as well. For this year, it's been fantastic. Despite maybe a little depressing to see after you beat us on a game to see the stat numbers, but still, it's great to see them, and it's just something to go off. It's something to talk about, and it's fantastic as well. Just that we can grow it in any way we can on the field, off the field, on the socials, make it something we can all be proud of. So. But lads, I'm going to let you go, and I will definitely be speaking to you again before the start of next season.
Cheers. Thank you.
100%. Thanks for having us, guys. Best of luck.
All the best, lads.
Cheers, lads. Bye.
And thank you to the lads there for coming on and having a chat. Again, congratulations to them. And thank you to the three guys from UCD, head coach Darragh, Farrell, quarterback Arun Mooney, Fion's new best friend, Brandon Attwell, as well, for coming on too. You have to play him next season. Be careful. Now,
I know. Yeah, I think the joke's over now. Yeah. I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised you didn't make more of it, Darragh. Fair play to you. I thought it was going to be a 5-minute long under center special gag that we tend to do sometimes, where it goes on and on and on.
I did have a plan to change the background today just to that picture.
I suspected I figured we would probably see that photo somewhere, but so I'm pretty surprised. I was expecting a Darragh Classic where we opened the show on it, but yeah, fair play to you. Kept it very professional, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's the last time you see Darragh's professionalism on me.
Darragh's a true rhino. He knows how to run something into the ground even after it stops working.
Yeah. But then watch me start running and throwing
well, it ran by yous anyway in the semi-final, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, somebody should have wheeled a toddler into the fucking end zone for them on the ball game. They might have scored, but anyway,
we might have got 3 points out of it, possibly. Yeah,
who knows?
Field goal or something. But look, lads, it's been a season.
It's over now. Another one in the dust.
It's over. The 2024 season is over. It's been fun. We've really enjoyed your company, Alex. Your first time on the show. Really glad you decided to come on board. It's been fantastic to have you on. Obviously, Reen is not here today either, and big thanks to Reen as well. He's
done very little, in fairness.
Well, look, listen, she goes off and gets married at the end of the season. Who does that now? Come on.
All right.
I've loved my time on the show, gents, and appreciate you having me on. I hope I brought something to it.
I'm sure we'll get that contract renewal in the post to you.
I want to see is Alex showing up for the NFL season, or does he only do local stuff?
I don't know.
I'll see my fees, I'll give I've
had
for part of the season, so
Yeah, well, look, listen, this is the thing, and I've had enough of 49ers fans and stuff like that already. I don't think I can take one on the show. I've already lost a jersey bet. I don't know what other bets I've been losing with the 49ers Seahawks bet in the regular season. But no, like I said, we're probably going to take a bit of a break for a month or so before we get into NFL stuff. Thank you to anyone that has listened tonight, that has listened to any other show, that has watched, that has interacted, that has followed us on the socials, that has told us that we've done the league table wrong, or has told us that we haven't accounted for enough touchdowns. You know, we appreciate all the support in any way. We are really glad that you stuck with us throughout the whole AFI season. We hope you will continue to follow us and continue to keep an eye on our NFL coverage when we start to run that out. And we might even see the return of our Mr. Al McGrath at that point too. You never know, Fionn. I know.
That's a blast from the past.
I know, right? I know. But also before we go, you know, Alex, Fionn, you know, we've given out enough about the league this year in many aspects, and I will continue to do that. I'll continue to push the button to give out about things, to try and get things right. But we must say we've touched on it a bit at the start of the show. The event as a whole on Saturday for Harp Bowl, Shamrock Bowl, it was all very, very well put together. Dewberry Park as a venue is fantastic. If that is the venue going forward for all Shamrock Bowls and Harp Bowls, I would not be disappointed. They have a great setup there. The league did a fantastic job of putting everything together. You know, with both games and a nice break in between. They had a nice bar with nice food, plenty of parking, programs. You know, they did really do a good job, and credit where it is due on that for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Alex wants to say some stuff on this. Obviously, I wasn't at the game, but just from the AFI point of view, I do think some really good stuff, and we have to look at it in broad strokes and credit, obviously, and also learn what can we do better next year, because it's all about growing the sport. As you said, a lot of great stuff. The pitch marking looks fantastic. The coverage on the day was really good. I know you said some people were giving out about sideline shots, but look, the reality is I think the production standard was higher than we've ever had it. And look, these production crews don't cover American football that often either, so it's part of a learning experience for them. Dewberry Park, a great venue. The only comment I have on the negative side is let's try and push a little bit more in terms of using outside media, kind of what's going on in Ireland, Instagram pages, and kind of lean on that a little bit more, get the word out outside of the football community and try and drag in some new faces. But I have to say, all in all, a fantastic day. The Jag sponsorship, I think, really helped out as well, alleviated a lot of stress, I'm sure, and it's no mean feat to pull this off. So credit where credit's due. The AFI is a volunteer organization, put together a hell of a day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd echo what you both said there. Fantastic event. I was lucky enough to be a VIP media member, you know, so I was rubbing elbows with the great and good and the, you know, up in the prawn sandwich brigade. It was really just
being on the show. Get your places, pal. Get your places.
Absolutely.
Did they have Harp on tap?
But, they did not, sadly enough.
That's a letdown.
Also, the Harp Bowl was not bowl shaped, so even if I was in a position to win it, I would not have been able to drink Harp out of it. So, you know, they ruined, you know.
Something to think of for next year.
Exactly, something to put on there. But they did put on a great show. It was all very well ran, and shared it as well to all the teams who sent volunteers down there. You know, that's tough at the end of the season. Nobody really wants to do it, but it is a massive part of how this event can run. They don't hire outside staff. It's not that big a league where you can just afford to hire a whole team of event staff. So everyone on there checking tickets, you know, doing ancillary stuff all around. They're all volunteers from the club. So a big shout out to everyone who helped out on the day, and anyone who helped out with any club throughout the year. You know, we only, this organization and every single team in it is only as good as its volunteers, not even necessarily playing sometimes. You know, the guys who go out there and do it for the love of their club or the love of the sport in the league, they really make everything possible. So a massive shout out to anyone who's volunteered throughout the season. And we hope to see everyone back next year, I think.
Absolutely. I know I'll be back. I think Fionn will be back and Alex will
Certainly.
be back. So, and look, we might get an extra Malloy in the league too now if Rain's sort his ankle out so we can actually get back playing in the league, because I know he's missed it this year. So hopefully he can for sure. But I think that about wraps up this edition of the show. Like I said, we will try our best to keep as active on socials as we can. Obviously, it's a bit weird not doing graphics for Monday tables or fixtures at the moment, so I'm gonna have to, try and do something else. I'm sure I'll find something else to do. But lads, as always, thank you so much for taking the time out this evening.
Thank you.
No problem
And
at
again,
all.
thank you for listening. The show is available on podcast if you want to do that too. Follow us on our socials at UnderCenterPod on Instagram and Twitter. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the channel too. And like I said, we do hope that you'll stick with us for our NFL coverage as it goes on through the year. We hope to keep the same high quality content with what would we call it? A low ceiling in terms of comedy on that too, because we're not actually
High
funny.
quality
We think we're
content
funny,
with
but we're not.
low quality budget.
Even better. I couldn't have summed it up any better myself. Thanks, Fionn. But until next time, stay safe. I will see you soon.